Hola YouTube, my name is Ricardo Lino and I'm a wheel addict. Today we're going to be talking about the Aeon80. This is the review of the USD Aeon80. If you've seen my unboxing of these skates, well, the previous video that I've made about this, I explained a bit about the Aeon, but basically what I said about this up until now is that this is the lowest 80mm skate there is on the market. The reason for that is because this boot, it's a unibody construction, meaning that the frame and the boot are all made in one piece. Basically these and these are all together, and the wheels come so close to your foot that they actually had to open some holes on top for the second and third wheel to go through. So yes, this is by far the lowest skate on the market, but this is a review, so we're going to be talking about the skate. I'm going to start from the bottom all the way to the top, how they feel and what I had to change on this skate in order for this skate to kind of work for me, or maybe perfectly work. We'll see what I'm gonna say. Starting with the wheels, this skate comes with the undercover raw 80mm wheels. These wheels are 85A UHR. In case you don't know what UHR means, that means ultra high rebound. A rebound on the wheel is extremely important. The rebound of the wheel is like when you throw the wheel down, you want the wheel to bounce as high as possible. What that makes on the wheel is that usually the rebound is what makes the wheel roll faster, last longer, usually perform better. And if you're wondering why that happens, imagine like wheel usually is rotating in the direction, right? Now imagine if there's always consistent vibration, and that vibration, if something is rotating forward, will only make it roll faster. Also, the bouncier it is, the less time it is on the floor, meaning that the wheel will usually last longer. So you want a wheel as bouncy as possible. Now, is this wheel really amazing? Well, I can't complain about the speed of these wheels. I can't say that I felt the wheels were fast, but I'm used to a wheel that will usually give me a little bit more of a slide, and I couldn't get the slide as good with these wheels as I can get with other 80mm wheels on the market, such as the other undercover wheels, the made in USA or made by Patron ones. These are also undercover, which is known for being one of the best wheels on the market, but comparing the Chinese version of the undercover wheels, which is the undercover raw, to the undercover by Patron wheels or made in the USA, I like the made in USA better. I also like the shape of some of the made in USA better. There's a wheel that it's very pointy, and then there's a wheel, it has a more fat shape, if that makes sense. Instead of being as pointy, it's more of a fat shape from undercover. I like that as an 80mm better than these, but that doesn't mean that this wheel is bad at all. These wheels were performing super good and they worked super good. I just wish they had a little bit more of a slide, at least for me. The bearings, nothing to complain here. I'm not really the bearing type of guy. I'm not going to be the type of guy that's going to tell you, oh, get these bearings, get those bearings. Of course, if the bearings are damaged with lots of dust, or if they have rust or something and they roll really slow, if you try to roll and they're blocking, yes, then I'm going to tell you, yeah, get better bearings. But in general, I'm not one of those people to say that, oh, you need to get these bearings or that. Usually what I'm going to say is like, usually very expensive bearings don't last as long, at least to me. That may be because the grease being used is way thinner, and that also, yes, it has better performance, but in general also lasts last time, at least to me. Now let's start talking about the frame. So this is obviously an 80mm frame, but to me it felt more of a 90mm frame. Obviously because we have a H block here, and also I've been skating a bit of big wheel frames, like I've been skating with 90mm a lot, but most times that I skate with a 90mm, I skate with a slightly rockered endless frame or even other slightly rockered frames. If I skate with a flat frame, even on the 90s, most times after skating a bit, I will feel that the skates turn better than these. And the reason for that is you have an H block. There's a distance between the second and the third wheel. And this space that you have here, of course, you should know that the front and the back wheels tend to get more use than the second and third. So you will slowly get the natural rocker what people try to do, or what people did with the Wizard, and every other company now has been doing with those slightly rocketed frames, such as the Endless and other brands on the market as the ones I've been using. Now, once that happens, that makes those bigger wheel frames way more maneuverable. Now here, even if that natural rockering happens, having the second and the third wheel more far apart, well, this is as far apart as it would be probably on a 4x110. Even if I'm just rolling on the middle two, because we have, I would say, like a 4 centimeter age block, man, I don't want to say anything wrong, but I think this will feel like if I was skating a 4x110 when I go on those middle two. That's about the same force that I would need to apply. And I'm talking about these when it's already natural rockered. That doesn't mean that it's a bad thing, especially if these going to be used on a skate park or something that you're going to want maneuverability, but you also want some stability. If you want those two, yes, this is going to help you. But if you are expecting these to feel like a regular free skate, it doesn't. And that's where I find this skate extremely interesting. It's not an aggressive skate, and it's not a free skate. It's somewhere in the middle. It's also not a power blade. Basically, the power blades, as I said in my unboxing of this video, the power blade was a frame that was made for aggressive skates, and it was a big wheel frame made for aggressive skates, turning that skate into a power blade. This is not like that, and it's not like that because being a unibody construction makes the whole thing way lower. So yes, you are rolling 80s, but it feels like you're rolling like a Power Blade 72 in that sense, if you want to say. But if you would try a Power Blade 80s, it would feel way taller, especially if you use a sole plate. Now, on these, you don't have that problem. Meaning, if you're gonna see the height as a problem, you don't have that. But at the end of the day, having the increase of the distance between the second and the third wheel because of the age block will also not feel like a free skate, which usually would have 480s or 490s very, very close together. So even some of the free skates on the market, some of them are rockered, meaning that you will be either on the front two, the middle two, or the front two, or the back two, or if you have the four down, it's gonna have like a shorter, if it's not rockered, it will have a shorter wheelbase. Now these ones, yes, 80, long wheelbase because of the space in between these two, so it also doesn't feel like a regular free skate, but it also doesn't feel like a regular aggressive skate, because if you're an aggressive skater and if you try something like this, obviously the size of the wheels will make everything different. So it's a very, very unique skate, even if a lot of people already know how this boot works. It's, again, not everyone likes the Aeon. I actually really like the Aeon. I think it's a little bit low here, so it's not for every fit. They do come with a different liner, which I will speak in a second, but with the 45-degree strap that they put here, you will get a little bit more stability. But in my opinion, for me, what makes this skate really different from the regular free skate, it's the lack of lateral support that I feel on 80mm setup like this compared to the type of support that I feel on a free skate. Yes, the heel, it feels a bit wider, feels there's a more wiggle on your foot. Your foot inside is going to move more, even if I change the liner, which I will get there in a second again. But the skate doesn't feel like a free skate. It just doesn't feel like a free skate, and again, it doesn't perform like a free skate. So it is a very unique type of thing, but it's for the good. It's also for the bad, as I said, but it will give you a lot of opportunities that you won't have with any other skate on the market. Example, you have an 80mm setup that will allow you to grind because the wheels are so in, and with this age block, you can actually grind. I was able to do back slides, as you saw in the beginning of this video, which I wasn't expecting to be able to do. And I know some people out there can do torques, which is like this, sliding that way. Would be, for me, unimaginable to do with the power blade, because usually the age block would be smaller and would be much taller. It would be really hard to imagine that. You can do topside tricks, you can do, like grinding wise, you can basically do everything. If you have the skill, you can do everything. If you are at the basic level of grind skating, of aggressive skating, if you can call it that way. You can also do the basics. You can do front sides, you can do back sides, you can do sole grinds, you can do machios. In my opinion, can be a very good skate for someone who's starting to aggressive skate but doesn't want to go really into grinding. But don't expect these to be or to feel like an aggressive skate. That's the weirdest part. And now, yes, I'm gonna speak about the liner. These skate come with the My Feet Second Skin liner, which I said on this channel, it's one of my favorite liners. I actually really like that liner, but I like that liner for a certain type of skating. I used to enjoy that liner for a free skate if I use the lacing system properly, but it needs to be a much narrower free skate, especially here in the back. And I like it for the Aeons if it's a 60mm Aeon, or maybe even on a 72, but on an 80mm, I felt my foot wiggling a little bit too much. So I felt the need of putting a liner that had a little bit more foam. That's why I didn't even try an Intuition liner, which is one of the liners that I like the most nowadays. And I tried the My Feet Recall liner. It's much puffier, much more padded on the inside. And by using that liner, I felt more support. So what it didn't show is that this video that you saw in the beginning was filmed in 2 days. The first day I filmed the introduction, and then I had too much fun with this and I didn't even film. So I had to go back there a second day, use the same clothes with Rob, and then we filmed on the second day with someone else with us. And on the second day I was using this liner. I can tell you right away from the get-go that I had much more fun with these skates with a thicker liner. Same with Rob. If you go back in the video and if you look what Rob is skating, Rob is also skating with the Recall liner, which is like, or a Fat Boy. I think they're similar. It's just a fat My Feet liner, and it just felt so much better. Other than that, what else can I say about these skates? I think it's extremely important that you lace the liners really well. So I know that some people like to skate these skates with very long laces and have the continuation of the laces from the boot all the way to the liner. For me, I prefer not to do that. I prefer to have independent laces, mainly because I don't think the lacing of the shell, the lacing on the plastic, does that much. There's a video from Austin Paz from Jump Street talking about the laces. I agree with him in some things, I don't agree in others, but one thing that Austin says is that in some skates the laces basically don't do anything, and I have to agree that the laces on this shell doesn't do much. So I prefer to keep these probably a little bit more loose. I'll try to tighten them a bit, but not too much, knowing that most of the stability of my skate will come from this buckle, and this ratchet buckle that we have here at 45 degrees is extremely important because it's going to keep my heel in the place, or it's going to try to keep my heel in the same place. But if I don't have the right liners, there's still a bit of wiggle. Then the top laces, I try to tighten really good so that the liner is really tight around my foot. And one thing that I had to do is, I don't know if you are aware of that, but on the cuff there's these little pieces. If you look at the cuff, on the side that has a receptor, there's some lines on the inside, and these lines are for you to break. I'm actually going to break one here now, so maybe I would need a bit more force that I don't have right now. Oh, I did. I was able to. So these things here, I took two more. These two pieces of plastic will allow you to tighten your skate a lot more. So I felt the need to do that because otherwise I would tighten the skate as much as I could and it wouldn't be stable. It would give me stability enough. By taking this piece of plastic, then I felt that the skate could really wrap around my foot. I still think that even with a thicker liner, very well laced, with the 45-degree ratchet buckle and the buckle on top really laced, really tight around my foot, I still felt that it doesn't give me enough lateral support. It's not that it doesn't give me enough lateral support, it's that it doesn't give me the same amount of lateral support that I'm used on a free skate. And it's weird to say that because the truth is, on a free skate, most of them at least will have a frame bolted to a boot, and then there could be a possibility of some give to happen in between the frame and the boot. Even if there's an aluminum block, that possibility could happen. And then that would be from the wheels to the boot, the whole thing could have a little bit of give, right? On these, because there's such a stiff thing around this area, like the frame being made as a one piece with the bottom of the shell, I would say that it's from the sole plate all the way up that there could be some lateral give. And I don't know if it's because of that the skate feels a bit less stable or a bit less stiff than the regular free skate that I usually use, even if it was any other power slide, because USD is owned by Power Slide, even if it's like the Power Slide Imperial or something like that. I don't know exactly why, but I felt like it doesn't give me as much lateral support as I'm used on a big wheel skate. Once again, that doesn't mean that it's something wrong or it's something bad. It's just a different type of skate. So at the end of the day, for who would this skate be? Well, this skate can be for a lot of people. As I said before, this skate can be used by someone that wants to get into aggressive skating but wants to have like a good feel, like wants something that rolls really good and still allow them to do a couple of grinds. That can work really good. It can also work for someone that is very used to a USD Aeon boot and really loves the feel of that, but would like to have another skate just to cruise fast through the city and already know that that boot works for them. That's perfect. It can also work for someone that wants these as a free skate. It can be a free skate. Now, do not expect these to feel the exact same if one day you change from the USD Aeon to a free skate. So at the end of the day, this skate can be used by a lot of people. Also, if you are looking to do those, let's call it wizard tricks, like those flat ground tricks, it can also be done here. You probably need to give it a little bit of time for your wheels to get a certain shape, or you can even get different sized wheels. I know that some people were using like 76s and 80s in the middle, or playing a little bit with the setups. But I would like to remind you that not having the middle wheels at the same distance at the front and back will not give the exact same feel as other rocker frames on the market. So yeah, it's a very interesting skate. It's very cool to see a company like USD doing something like this, and it's very cool the way of construction that they did is they completely optimized the way they built this skate, because you may not know, but this is made out of injection mold. Basically they have a whole mold, but it's a modular mold. Basically with the exact same mold they can make 3 different skates. They can make the 80mm version, they can make the one which is the 72 with the wheels a bit smaller, the 72 Aeon, and the 60mm Aeon. This is the last one, not the last one, but this was the one that I haven't skated before. I've skated the 72s, which I really enjoyed. I skated the 60s a bunch, and this is my first time skating the 80s, and I need to say that I really enjoy how these feel. So yeah, with that being said, make sure to try them if you have the possibility. Make sure with your shop, if you have any local shop that sells them, try to fit them if it's possible. If not, while buying them through your skate shop, make sure that they are going to fit, or make sure to check the return policy, because you may want to check the fitting if it's right or not. And one last tip, if you buy these skates and if you want to have a feeling of a less stiff skate, a more responsive skate, if you come from 80mm, a very interesting trick that you can try is just take the middle 2 wheels, do a couple of power slides with both feet, put the middle wheels back on, and you're gonna feel that natural rocker. It's done. That's it. Little review of the USD Aeon80s. It was cool to skate with someone as Robert Guerrero, which is a legend in this sport, and share some opinions about these skates with him, and now being able to talk with you guys, and hopefully you guys enjoy this video. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give me a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to the channel, come on, we're very close to the 100,000 subscribers. It's a big number for me, which I never expect to get there. I'm still a bit away, but not too far, let's put it that way. And yeah, with that being said, if you also want to become a member of this channel or want to support this channel and what I do here, you can always press on that join button, become a member, and you'll have access to exclusive content. And now, yes, for the final time, with that being said, like I always say in every single video, just don't forget why we all started skating. That is because it's fun now. Cheers and see you soon.